Green screen video, the how and why of harnessing this tool. Hello and welcome to the series Clearing the Blockers by Solution Consulting. This is the remote working edition. Today we're going to talk about green screen video. This is not a tool that's going to surprise anybody. These days we are all on video conferencing calls and we are changing our backgrounds to suit our personality, mood and to entertain our audience. Why? Why would we want to do this? Giving presentations over video conference has its limitations. People are often distracted looking around the room. It's difficult to get the kind of feedback you're used to getting when you're in a one-to-one setting. Some members of your audience may drop from the call due to technical issues, leaving your message broken or missing a step in the logic by the time that they rejoin to share their perspective, which can damage the flow of the presentation. Using a technique like this, you are able to present yourself to your audience with a method that puts you in their digital space. They can consider the message that you are conveying, and hopefully this will help them feel more connected. How? How are we going to do this? Today we're going to do it using software called Blender 3D. It's freeware and offers a serious toolkit to the home enthusiast. There are, however, many alternatives, and I would suggest using the easiest solution you can find. Using green screen, we can layer ourselves over our key slides, providing a more connected experience for our audience. We can then control the size and positioning of ourselves on the screen in an attempt to make the delivery of our message a little bit more entertaining. The value proposition for this type of media is difficult to assess. It depends how easy you find it to put the workflow together. Reality check, folks. This type of technique takes work, and only you can decide whether the value proposition is right for you. I have a green screen pinned to the spare bedroom wall. There's a window throwing light directly with no angle on the wall. I have a tripod with a mobile phone cage which enables me to use my mobile phone to record the content. I have a Synco Lav S6 series lapel mic for the audio in order to keep the echo out of the recordings. And I can transfer my MPEG-4 files from my Android phone to a PC via a USB cable, which is another technique or workflow that you'd need to be familiar with. Hello, let's get started by launching Blender. First thing we're going to do here is we'll go up to the File tab, New, and we'll open up a new VFX workspace. We'll go over to Open, and I've got my green screen video clips transferred from my mobile in a green folder. Select the clip that's been transferred and open it up. We'll use the magnifying glass to reduce the size of the image to fit it within the viewport. And then I'll cut across to the Set Scene Frames button to expand the scope of the video to include all frames. Then up to the tab labeled Masking, drop and select the video clip that we imported in the previous sequence. Again, magnifying glass to reduce the size within the viewport. Scrub the timeline, looking for any times where you move dramatically, because we're going to want to put a mask around and throw away the garbage. Control click all the way around the edge, making sure that at no point during the movie clip do you go beyond the border that you are setting. Keeping that control held down and clicking the mouse. The last one you will see will turn white as you connect the dots. Up to the Compositing tab, select Use Nodes. Click on Render Layers, drag that out for a minute. Shift S, Input, down to Movie Clip, changes it. Open up that movie clip again, transferred from your cell phone into the green folder. Open up that clip. And we'll now do Control-Shift-Click on the movie clip node, which will bring in a viewer node. Use the corner of the boxes to reduce the size of the image and the X to drag it into the middle of the viewport again. And let's put that composite node over to the right and drag the viewer node over to the right. Now we want to add a matte keying node for removing the color. And we'll also add that mask that we created, input mask, drop that down to the bottom left. With the drop down, select the mask that we created, should only be one. From the image node, connect to the garbage node of the keying. At this point it does the opposite of what we want, so do a color invert. You're doing Shift A to add these nodes. Drop it on the string, then we can drop those and drag them down to the bottom of the screen. Just keeps things organized, makes it easier to reach the strings you need. We'll now do an input, Shift A, input image node. Now we want to select the image that we want to see behind our main footage. I've got a stars JPEG here that I'm going to use, so we'll open up that. You can see it appears in the thumbnail. I'm going to do my keying now. Select the color tab, select the pipette, right up close, the darkest point you can find around your image. As you can see, it's done quite nicely. Removed most of my background. I'll give it 2 on the feather, 1 on the post blur, just to sort of merge my image in with its background. Drop that down a minute so I've got some space. I'm going to add a color alpha over, just decide which image is the boss. I'll then drag from the image node down to the top node of the alpha over. It'll cause the other one to shift, and now we've got one image over the top of the other. Click the convert premal to get rid of that shading, and then connect the image with the image. We can shut down these again, composite, viewer, and alpha over. We're done with those. Let's get them out of the way. Back to our keying node for subtle changes. I'm going to reduce the opacity slightly, which is the white clip, down to 0.75. There you go, not quite so transparent. I'm going to add a little edge kernel. You can see it's a bit fuzzy, and just a little bit on the edge kern so that it fills out the edge. Okay, that looks much smarter. Close that keying node done. We're done with that. Let's add a color balance node. Drop it on the string. That was a Shift A again. We're going to drop it to 0.9 just to give it a little more darkness, just to make me look a little more solid. Close out that color balance node. And finally, I'm going to want to distort transform node. Again, Shift A, distort transform. Drop that on the string between keying and color balance. I'm going to drop my scale. Let's try 0.8. Maybe 0.6. That'll do it. And then I want to move it around so I'm not floating. Let's go left a bit, maybe 200. Minus 200 to go left. To go down, I want to go minus, say, 300. A little too far, maybe. Let's try minus 275 and let's call it good. And we are now positioned on the screen. What I'm thinking I'm going to do now is just do a quick render of the image, just to make sure there are no surprises, so that we can see it at a larger scale. No surprises, that looks just fine. I use the mouse wheel to roll that back down a bit. Okay, let's render it. Let's change the render engine to cycles, the CPU to GPU compute if you have a GPU. I'm going to change the frame rate to a custom 29.97. I'm going to change the file location to where I want the clip to appear. As a heads up, people, you don't get audio when you do this green screen rendering. You have to apply the audio later. Just giving you a heads up on that early as we can. Okay, we accept that location. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to want to select the file format and make that FFmpeg. I'm then going to want to come down to the encoding, drop the tab, change the container to MPEG-4. Don't bother with the audio, just confuses things. It creates a strip but there's no audio in it. Render the animation. It's going to blink away until it's done. I won't make you watch that part. I'll be back. Hello and welcome back. Okay, so let's go up, File, New, Video Editing Workspace. We're about to stitch our newly created green screen video to the original audio source. So the first thing I need to do is drag in the green screen video clip originally transferred from my mobile device. So this is the same clip we used in the last sequence, not the one we created in the last sequence. This, of course, is going to have the audio we need and the video we don't. I'm going to start here by scoping out the video. So I move the slider to the end of the video clip. I take what's in the box down in the bottom right hand corner and I copy it over the end frame so that now I have a start and end frame that matches the length of the video. I'm then going to highlight the clip, Shift X, and delete or erase the video clip, so now I've only got the audio. And this time I now want to drag over the top the video clip that we created in the last sequence, the new green screen clip. Whoops, sorry, my slider was at the end of the video, so that failed. So now I removed it, moved the slider back to the beginning, dragged and dropped it back over the top. So now I have the movie video over the top of the new audio. I'm now going to do the same process we did in the last rendering sequence, where I am setting the location of the file of where we're going to render the new strip with the audio included. I'm going to go down to the file format and check that to FFmpeg. I'm going to drop the encoding, and the container is going to be MPEG-4, but this time down a little further, audio AAC, to ensure we do get the audio this time. And now we're going to render the animation, and that is going to put the strip together. Thank you very much for watching my green screen video tutorial. I hope this has been helpful to somebody.